Let's say you have a crush on somebody. You're flirting a little bit, maybe even dating, but you're not quite sure if they're all that into you. Buckle up because they're about to be. You're on FaceTime with them. Congratulations, I'm assuming you're at home, you're in your normal clothes, okay? In the middle of the conversation, be like, it's getting late, I gotta put on my pajamas. Now, you walk out of frame. They don't get a show, and when you're changing, you just happen to throw your shirt across the frame. You throw your pants, you throw your hoodie, you throw your whatever, okay? You're gonna be able to see their reaction on screen. They're not gonna say anything because you didn't do anything, but they're gonna be thinking some things. Pretend that there's something in your eye, okay? It hurts really bad, you can't get it out, you need their help. Depending on the height difference, they're gonna be looking up at you, trying to figure out what's causing you pain. You're gonna be looking down at them, or vice versa. And all you have to do is smile, and they're gonna be like, what? And you have to be like, I just really like you looking up or down at me. I would get butterflies. This one really only works if you're a girl going for a guy, or girl for girl, or guy for guy. It doesn't really work guy for girl. Okay, you're gonna be in a conversation with them, standing across from them. You're gonna have something in your hand. Doesn't matter what it is, phone, wallet, chapstick, I don't care. You're going to accidentally drop it. When you go down, you're going to grab their thigh for balance. And before you come back up, you're gonna look back up at them and be like, my bad, and get back up and go back to the conversation as if nothing happened. They're going to explode! There's something stuck in my eye. Well, stop rubbing it. But it hurts and I'm just trying to get it out. Instead, try just pulling down on your eyelashes. It'll force it to come out. Huh. That worked. Dang it. What's wrong with you? Every picture I take, I have a double chin. That's because you're not putting your tongue in the right spot. Huh? If you press your tongue to the roof of your mouth, it'll make your jaw more defined. Oh, I have to pee so bad, but this person won't get out of the bathroom. Just scratch the back of your calf. What? The back of your calf. Scratch it. Why is this helping? The world's hardest riddle is really interesting because when Harvard students were asked to answer it, 98% of them got it wrong. But when kindergartners were asked to answer it, 83% of them got it right. So if you can't solve this, you're dumber than a kindergartner, but right up there with Harvard students. I turn polar bears white, and I will make you cry. I make guys have to pee, and girls comb their hair. I make celebrities look stupid, and normal people look like celebrities. I turn pancakes brown, and make your champagne bubble. If you squeeze me, I'll pop. But if you look at me, you'll pop. Can you guess the riddle? There's about a 1 in 75,000 chance that the next time you go to crack your neck, you could cause a small tear in your artery, which could lead to a blood clot, which could lead to a stroke that kills you. And even with this knowledge, I have a feeling that most of you aren't gonna stop. 30% of people that are reported missing and then later found dead were killed by the person that reported them missing. If you lived in ancient Rome and were found guilty of killing your father, you were sentenced to what's called pena quelli, which translates to penalty of the sack, where they would sew you into a leather bag with a live dog, snake, monkey, and chicken, and then just throw you into the ocean. They call it sand because it's in between the sea and the land. The division symbol is just a fraction, but with dots replacing the numbers. When they say that this little piggy went to the market, that doesn't mean he went to the store. Here's some movies coming out that you should be very excited for. Hocus Pocus 2. It's been almost 30 years since the original, but we are finally gonna see the Sanderson sisters again. It's gonna be coming out on Disney Plus on September 30th, just in time for spooky season. So you probably already heard that the Avatar sequel, The Way of the Water, is coming out December 22nd of this year. But were you aware of the fact that we're supposed to be getting another 4 more of these movies? They already finished recording The Seed Bearer. Honestly, I'm just happy they're putting that $2.8 billion from the first movie to good use. Untitled Super Mario movie. We don't know much about this or like when it's coming out, but we do know that Chris Pratt is playing Mario, Charlie Day is Luigi, Anna Taylor-Joy is Princess Peach, Jack Black as Bowser, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Let's all pray that it's better than the last one. Humans are so stupid. We can't agree on anything. Seriously, I challenge you to try and find one thing that everybody can agree on. Because I guarantee whatever you're thinking, somebody wants to argue with you. I bet you want to argue with me on that too. We can't even agree what electrical outlet to use. Every country has to have their own. But why would I think we could do that when we can't get on the same page about how to write what day it is? It gets worse. We can't even agree on what year it is. I binged watched all the Cars movies recently, and I unfortunately have some questions. So hopefully y'all remember Sarge. He's a 1942 Willys Army Jeep. These things were specifically made for World War II. Does that imply that somewhere in the Cars universe there exists a car Hitler? Because if so, does that mean that there was a Cars Holocaust? Because then you gotta start thinking about the Jewish vehicles. Like, how do you circumcise a car? My guess is that they trimmed the exhaust pipe, but I don't know. And before you sit there and call me crazy, I need you to remember that the car Pope is canon, which means that there was once a car Jesus that died for the car sins. Probably looks something like this. If there's a car Pope, that means that Catholicism is going strong and has millions of followers, or should I say car-Catholicism, which implies car pedophiles. I haven't even scratched the surface on all the crazy things that Pixar implies with the Cars universe, so make sure you like for a part 2. Next time you're feeling bad about yourself, I want you to come back and watch this video because nothing is gonna make you feel better like people trying to sell mirrors. You're selling the mirror, you know, you gotta take a picture of it, but you don't necessarily want to be in it, so got a lot of these. People just trying their very best. Like, genuinely, this is impressive. This is somehow even more impressive. But then some people kind of get lazy. Like, you can tell they're trying, but it just doesn't work. Ma'am, get your child out of here! Hiding his personality, but showing off that ass. This one's so intimate, like, oh my god. Sir, where's your shirt? This one gives more shitty Tinder pic than it does a mirror ad. I don't think I've ever thought to take a picture like this. Oh, just the feet. I like that you can tell the dude behind this is smiling. But honestly, my personal favorite is people dressing up as ghosts. It's like, oh, so spooky. A for effort. This one is genius. Oh, heartburn sucks. Like, why can't I just eat my spicy food in peace? Just try drinking this. What is this? Well, we don't have any Tums, so I just mixed water with baking soda. You feeling better? Yeah, actually. Thanks. Ah! Shit! Oh my god! I cut myself. Do you have any Neosporin or Band-Aid or something? I think we're all out, but I do have sugar. What? You know, since we don't have any bandages, honey might actually work better for this. How is that supposed to help me? Bacteria needs moisture to grow, and putting sugar on the open wound will draw any of the water out, starving the bacteria before it can infect you. You're insane, you know that? You're still awake? You said you were going to bed hours ago. Yeah, I can't sleep. You should try eating this. Peanut butter? It contains tryptophan, which is known to help with sleep issues.
Full cart. Look at this. Look at all this.
Because I need it.
Look at the shelves. You don't think I need it for my baby too?
You think I know you come and you get this?
I just want to come on here and remind y'all that it is perfectly legal to take stuff out of somebody else's shopping cart before they've paid for it. When there's a shortage of something, like toilet paper, hand sanitizer, in this case, baby formula, there's gonna be a lot of assholes trying to bulk buy everything so they can resell it because they're fucking assholes. If you ever see somebody doing this, literally take the shit out of their shopping cart and buy it for yourself. Hell, put it back on the shelf, tell them to fuck off. Life hack. We really survived a whole pandemic just for the universe to dangle a potential world war in our face. Think fast. Oh man, you gotta get better at dodging that ball if you even want to consider dodging a draft. Alright, here's the game plan. You could run away to Canada. I don't think they want you. You could pretend to have bad eyesight. It's kind of messed up. Or bone spurs. I don't know what that is, but I do know that's how Trump got out of Vietnam. But I don't think you have enough money to make that lie work. You could do a classic, break your legs. It's a temporary fix unless you just keep breaking your legs, which is suspicious. Okay, hear me out. Cut off your toes. It's extreme, I'm sorry. You could go to college. They can't draft you if you're in school. It's a temporary fix though. You could get married and have a bunch of kids. It's kind of extreme and it's not even a guarantee. I'd say cut off your dick and become a woman, but that seems insensitive. And I have a feeling that the next draft is gonna include women because, you know, equality. So, be gay. The military can't stand gay people. Just be gay. For those of you out here struggling, here's some ways to get a guy to actually like you back. Make eye contact with him a little longer than you normally would. Don't stare the man down, okay? But if you notice that when you look at him, it's only for like a second, try to look at him for like 3 to 5 seconds. And smile. He'll notice. Compliment him. Men are so compliment deprived that when they finally get one, they eat that shit up, okay? Just don't go overboard. Like 1 or 2 genuine compliments a week is gonna keep him on his toes and make him feel good. Touch him, but casually. Maybe you touch his arm in conversation, or maybe you're sitting next to each other and your legs bump, but you don't move it right away. Or maybe there's something over here you gotta go show him, so you grab him by the hand and drag him along. Ask him for favors. Nothing crazy, just small stuff. This is a little trick that Benjamin Franklin used to get people to care about him more. But just make sure that if he ever asks you for a favor, you follow through too. Make sure that you have a life outside of him. Show him that you're an independent individual that doesn't need to be around him. You want to be around him. And if he doesn't reciprocate that want, you're ready to walk away, because nothing is more attractive than somebody that knows their worth. Here are some signs that you're actually more attractive than you think you are. When we find somebody hot, we usually look at them and are like, there is nothing wrong with this person. They're perfect. So if you ever like casually bring up your insecurities around people and they seem shocked about it, it's because they are. You don't really get that many compliments, which seems backwards, right? Like the most attractive people should be getting the most amount of compliments, but a lot of people don't even bother complimenting attractive people because they assume that they already know how good they look. You know when you're walking around and you accidentally make eye contact with a person? Okay, well, if you notice these people are staring at you or having to do like double takes, they're having a really hard time averting their gaze from this person that they find so beautiful. And if somebody's like smiling in your direction, flirting, okay? And if they're raising their eyebrows up, they're literally surprised about how gorgeous you are. People seem to have really strong opinions about you, both positive and negative, even if they've never met you. Can you guess why? Insane history facts that school couldn't teach you. In ancient Greece, a big dick was actually seen as inferior because people took it as a sign that the man attached to it was stupid. This is why a lot of their statues depict men with tiny little wieners, because it was a sign of intelligence. Pyrene was a woman in ancient Greece who was put on trial for not being the most holy or like godly person. But she ended up avoiding a death sentence because she flashed her boobs in court. The all-male jury saw her titties and decided that it would be a crime against the gods to kill somebody so beautiful. The ancient Greeks, Romans, and Spartans were very into anal. And like, everybody has a butthole, so everybody was into it. Women would do it because in order to get married, they just had to be vaginal virgins. Talk about a loophole. And men would do it with other soldiers as a sign of like friendship and camaraderie and brotherhood. Here's something to look out for in somebody else's body language if you think that they might have a crush on you. This is definitely going to be exposing a lot of people out there, and I'm sorry, but like, the people gotta know. If you're with somebody, maybe on a date, maybe not, but at the very least like alone with the person, and you notice that they kind of just like, they flare their nostrils a little bit, they probably don't even realize that they're doing it, but they're trying to smell your pheromones. They can't even help it. Because you know, when you're attracted to somebody, even on a subconscious level, you're gonna try and figure out if you're compatible on that level. Trigger warning, here is what actually happens after you die. First things first, all the muscles in your body are going to relax, like really relax for the first time in probably a long time. Which means that 10 to 25 pounds of crap you've been holding on to is going to spill out, and whoever finds you is going to be very aware of the fact that you just shit and pissed yourself. But who cares? You're dead. Then all the air in your body is going to escape. Morticians have even said that they hear a lot of moaning while being the only alive person in the room. And because your blood is no longer circulating, it's just going to pool in a specific spot, which is why most dead bodies have a dark purplish color. And if you're a man, you might just get one last boner. After about 2 to 6 hours, your body's going to become very cold and stiff, and because of dehydration, your skin's going to shrivel up, making it look like your hair and nails have grown. And then all the microorganisms that have been living in your gut are going to eat you dead. And if your body's left above ground, it would take about a month to really decompose, but if you're buried underground, the process takes 8 to 12 years. Happy dying. Here's some tricks to help you get rid of your acne, and none of the cliche shit. Actual life hacks. So everybody knows that you need to be washing your bed sheets at least once a week. I hope. But if you have bad acne, you need to be washing your pillowcases every couple of days. But that's annoying. So instead, try putting a clean towel over your pillowcase every night, and I promise you it's going to change your life. Try leaving Head and Shoulders on your face for 15 minutes a day. There's an ingredient in it called pyrityrone zinc that's been proven to completely clear up certain types of acne. But if you want something a little bit more natural than that, putting shea butter or honey on your face can go a long way in getting rid of pimples and healing acne scars. And when you go to wash your face, make sure you're using hot water. And when you go to rinse it, use cold water. This is going to open and close your pores at the right time, leaving you with better skin. And finally, make sure you give any acne treatment you're trying at least 4 weeks to kick in and work before giving up and trying something else. And if nothing seems to be working, it might be time to talk to a dermatologist instead of listening to a stranger on the internet. Hope this helps though. Alright guys, today I'm gonna teach you how to survive a nuclear bomb. Just in case. Boom, the bomb went off, you have to act fast, okay? First things first, don't look at the flash, it'll blind you, and try not to look at other people either because the flash can act like an x-ray and you'll be definitely seeing some skeletons. If you can't find shelter, your best bet is going to be to lay down on the ground, face down, covering your head and ears. I would probably still do this even if I had shelter. And like I said, there's gonna be x-rays, but also gamma rays and thermal rays, which are not going to feel good. They're going to be actively burning you. It doesn't matter, you have to get up, fight through the pain, and just find fucking shelter. Don't get into a car, that's like the worst idea you could have. A bomb shelter is ideal, but any brick or concrete building is gonna be helpful. Even if you could just find a cave, get inside of it. Because the poisonous rain is coming, and it will kill everything in its path. You should also probably take off your clothes because they are just covered in radiation. And if you somehow made it this far, you're doing better than most, so like for a part 2. Did you know that your birth order in your family can actually have a huge effect on you and your personality? Like, if you're the firstborn child, studies have shown that this has a tendency to push you in the direction of being a high-achieving perfectionist, or, as your siblings might put it, a bossy know-it-all. Compare that to those who are the youngest child, who always seem to be a little bit more funny, creative, outgoing, a little bit more risk-taking, but this just stems from the fact that they always feel left out and have this competitive urge to seek attention. And if you're an only child, you have a lot of similarities with firstborns in the sense that you're mature for your age and kind of a perfectionist, but you try to be the leader in situations where that's not necessary because you have this deep craving to be the center of attention. And if you're a middle child, almost forgot about you there. There are 2 types, okay? You're either a rebellious independent or a flexible, easygoing peacemaker. Which one will be? Back when I was in college, I asked this girl out on a date and she said yes, but informed me that she's vegan. I'm not vegan, I have no issues with it. Sometimes the food is good and she was really hot, so I ended up finding this 5-star vegan restaurant and took her there. And as we're walking up, we see this homeless looking dude that she thought was on drugs, literally just outside the door doing taekwondo dancing shit. Like, the girl casually slipped by him, go inside, and he follows us in, goes behind the register, and takes our order! He was the owner of the vegan restaurant. We were a little dazed and confused by that, but we get our food and it was amazing, okay? We end up talking for like hours. The date went really well. I drop her off, I go home, and when I tell you that this amazing vegan food gave me diarrhea for 3 days straight, it dropped a nuke in my stomach and my ass exploded. And then the girl ended up ghosting me because she got pregnant. I learned a lot that day. Really weird human body facts that I can guarantee you didn't know. Your jaw is strong enough to shatter your teeth, but you won't. It's possible to taste flavors through your anus. Some people can get a really good pop in their lower back by just clenching their ass cheeks hard enough. And just like that, millions of people are squeezing their butt. Let me know if you can do it. Not so fun facts to completely ruin your day. Doritos announced that each bag is now gonna have 5 fewer less chips, and they're blaming it on inflation. If you're ever drowning in the ocean, a dolphin is much more likely to rape you than help you or just ignore you. If you ever have a really persistent case of the hiccups, the doctor recommended course of treatment is a rectal massage. The United States has been a country for 244 years, but has been at war for 225 of those years. The zone of death, the only place in the United States where murder is legal because of this crazy loophole in our justice system. It's in Yellowstone National Park, which is mostly in Wyoming, but does cross the border into Montana and Idaho. And that little 50-mile strip is exactly where you don't want to be, unless you plan on killing or being killed. For a criminal proceeding to take place, the jury has to live in both the state and the district where the crime takes place. So for a trial to even take place against a crime that happened in this strip of land, the jury has to live in that strip of land. And that's the thing. Nobody lives in 3 times that actors weren't acting. In the show The Fresh Prince, Will is supposed to be giving a very powerful speech about how his TV show character dad abandoned him, but considering that his real life dad did the same exact thing, the emotions feel a lot more real than something that was just made for TV. In the movie Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man gets hit with a big blast of water. Crazy, like he did a great job acting all wet, right? His stunt double actually got hit with all that water. In Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix, when Sirius Black dies, this is obviously a very traumatic thing that happens to Harry, but Daniel Radcliffe's grandmother actually died the morning before they filmed this scene, so the scream that he gave was just so raw and real that they didn't even feel comfortable putting it in the movie. Thankfully, they muted it, and we can still feel it without having to hear it. So we all know Zendaya for being Zendaya. But in 2010, she was on a Disney show called Shake It Up, and season 1, episode 7 of that show, called Party It Up, was actually banned from television. Because in that episode, other characters are poking fun at modeling stereotypes, and one of them even says, "Oh, I could just eat you up. You know, if I ate." If you're older Gen Z or a millennial, you might remember this one, but the SpongeBob SquarePants episode Midlife Crustaceans was actually pulled from television in 2018. Probably because parents realized that maybe the idea of the main characters of a TV show breaking into women's houses and stealing their underwear isn't the best form of entertainment for their children. We all know Joe Rogan from the Joe Rogan podcast. But did you know he used to be the host of a TV show called Fear Factor? And there's an episode called Hee Haw Hee Haw that was banned before it was ever aired because the contestants had to drink donkey semen. They literally did it and didn't even get to be on TV. Advice that could save your life one day, except the scenarios become increasingly more likely to actually happen. If you want to have a higher chance of surviving a plane crash, what you need to do is sit in a middle seat towards the back of the plane. Don't even bother with first class tickets, okay? It's a guaranteed death. If you ever accidentally drive into water and now your car is sinking, don't bother trying to open up the doors unless it's fully submerged. I'm talking like water up to your chin kind of thing, which is very scary. Instead, as soon as the car hits the water, unbuckle your seatbelt, roll down the window, or break it, and escape through there. If somebody is ever threatening your life with a gun or some sort of other weapon, tell them your name, tell them your parents' name, tell them your siblings' name, if you have any kids, what your hobbies are, if you have a pet, literally anything that you can think about yourself, tell this person, because the more that this person thinks that you're a person, the less likely they are to kill you. Psychology tricks that work on kids that I know work because I have like a dozen younger siblings. If you have a kid that's in that why phase, just constantly asking tons of questions, instead of answering every single one of them, which can get exhausting, or just saying I don't know, which can be discouraging, try asking them what they think. They usually end up answering their own question, and then you can provide some feedback and then immediately move the fuck on. Giving a kid the illusion of choice, they become too preoccupied with the decision to even remember that they didn't want to do something. Saying, do you want to do your homework in blue or black pen is better than just saying, do you want to do your homework? Asking a kid, why did you push Jimmy is better than asking, did you push Jimmy? If you have a toddler that's just having an absolute meltdown, okay, there's 2 tricks. You can ask them a question to try and redirect their attention, like, hey, what color are your shoes? Or you can remind them that they're mad and they shouldn't laugh. You're mad. Don't smile. Say that enough times in a serious voice and they're going to give in. Here are 3 things that you should probably look out for in somebody else's body language. Lip locking is something that we all do when we're hearing or seeing something that we don't like. Hey, I think it's finally time that you met my parents. That's a great idea. Shoulder shrugging shows where there's an uncertainty in a person's mind. You know, like the whole, I'd like to thank my family and friends and girlfriend. Eye blocking is a telltale sign that somebody is trying to keep a secret or hide an emotion, whether it's them blinking too slowly, trying to have a conversation with their eyes closed, or wearing a sunglasses and a hat to, you know, hide the truth. If you ever get a parking ticket, like I did, right here, make sure you pay it online. That way you get to keep the ticket. So if you ever need to park somewhere and you don't feel like paying the meter, you can just slip this underneath your windshield and cops will see it and they won't bother giving you another one. If you ever want to read a book without buying the book, just type the name of the book followed by this. And if you ever want to watch a movie for free, just type this followed by the name of the movie. If you're ever getting pulled over by a cop and you're afraid that you're going to get a ticket, literally as soon as you see the blue lights behind you, call 911 and say that you saw a drunk driver in your location. By the time that cop steps up to your window, they're going to get that alert, tell you that it's your lucky day, and let you go. I'm gonna show you guys how to win the jackpot on some arcade games almost every single time. Okay, for something like Whack-A-Win, you don't want to come in here and just hit it as hard as you can because that's just not gonna work. Okay, you want to take this hammer, make it a 90-degree angle with the button, and then just drop it. Let's go! And to win something like Cyclone, it's all about timing. It's not as hard as you think, but one thing that does help is keeping your hand over the button and then just like timing it for a couple circles around until you... Right there. But I got it. I got the Cyclone. And then to win something like Monster Drop, what you want to do is find the jackpot. You see that little yellow button right there? You want to hit this button right when it passes that screw. It's going to allow the ball just to sink right into it. And then to win the jackpot on the 2-minute drill, you just want to shoot for the middle one. Don't worry about the blue or the red, and then make sure you hit all the receivers. And to win a prize for something like the claw, literally just get inside. It's the easiest way to do it. Y'all, I'm telling you, this stuff works. Here are 5 facts you didn't know about the male body. Men are more likely to be habitual snorers. 45% of men snore every single night compared to 20% of women. They have thicker skin. Actually though, their skin is literally thicker. Men's bodies stink. You probably knew this, but it's because they produce more of a hormone called androstenone, which, depending on your genes, can make you smell like vanilla or urine. The male orgasm typically lasts half as long as a female's. So sorry. Men, you can't move your dick without clenching your butthole. Stop trying to do it! Here are 5 things you didn't know about the female body. A woman's sense of smell is about 50 times better than men's. And because men have the gene that make them more susceptible to color blindness, women are able to see a much larger spectrum of color than they are. Women also have a much stronger memory, which tends to lead to better decision making. And because women are missing a specific enzyme that breaks down alcohol, we get more drunk. I'm also not sure why or how, but research shows that women are more likely to get cavities, and I'm gonna go to the dentist now. How old is your dog? Okay, I'm sure if you're like most people, you're counting the years and then multiplying that by 7. So if they're 3, they're actually 21. He's 1, so he's 7. What if I told you that that way of thinking about your dog's age is completely outdated? New research has come out that's actually based on your dog's DNA. So this new formula to calculate the age is way more accurate. The first year of your dog's life is equivalent to 15 years, which unfortunately means I own a teenager. And then the second year of your dog's life, you add 9 years. So by 2, he'd be 24. And then every year after that, you just add 5 years. So by 3, he'd be 29. And then by 4, he'd be 34, and so on. So, you know, growing up, I kind of thought that quicksand was gonna be a way more pressing issue in my life. Which is why, even though I've never encountered it myself, I do know how to escape it. First things first, don't panic, you gotta remain calm, take deep breaths, and remember that you're not gonna drown in quicksand. Because the sand is more dense than your body, you're only really gonna go about waist deep. But still, to give yourself more time, you should make yourself lighter by throwing off any jacket or backpack you have. Also, make sure you keep your arms up and out of the sand. Then you're gonna wanna slowly wiggle your legs. This is going to create a pocket for the water to trickle in and loosen the sand around you. Then you're gonna wanna lay down on your back, which is going to help bring your legs to the surface. And then you're gonna wanna start doing the backstroke as if you're swimming in a pool. And if you keep moving slowly but deliberately, you should be able to escape just fine. And if anybody ever finds quicksand, can you let me know, because I kinda wanna try this one out myself. Guys, I completely forgot that today is tattoo day. A day where I get tattooed. I forgot. I refuse to be that shitty tattoo client that's late, okay? I'm not just... I made it. It's not that bad. Alright, we got one done. one to go. And the second one is done and looks amazing. Tattoo day is the best day. I posted really good photos of them and tagged my artist on Instagram if you want to go check it out. Here are the top 3 craziest concerts that I've ever been to. And if you're a fan of rock music, make sure you click the link in my bio for a playlist that'll just change your life. In third place, we have Blink-182, okay? The second time seeing them, everybody was moshing. They threw dozens of sex dolls at us, and I remember going up to the biggest guy I could find and asking him to help me crowd surf for the first time. Spot number 2 goes to The Offspring, okay? There was never a more therapeutic experience in my life than singing Self-Esteem Gone Away and You're Gonna Go Far, Kid in a crowd of over 150,000 people. And by far the craziest concert I've ever been to has got to be Metallica. I ended up getting too close to the front by accident in what felt like a sea of people, and I remember joking like, haha, I almost died at a Metallica concert. But then like 2 weeks later, Astroworld happened, and then I realized that I actually almost died at a Metallica concert. I did get this cool picture though. Here are 5 things that every guy needs to know about girls. Women are people. Not princesses, not goddesses, not quiet, shy outcasts with all these secret, mysterious wants, okay? Being overly precious about women is just as weird and sexist as thinking they're inferior. Period pain can range from I'm feeling a little worse than usual to I am completely incapacitated right now. When a girl is telling you about a problem she's having, she is not coming to you for a solution. And even if you think that you have the perfect solution for their problem, maybe try asking if they want help before giving unsolicited advice. Men, we all know that you're very visual creatures, but women like it when you play with their imagination. So flirting, foreplay, and the build-up to sex is usually better than the sex itself. Trying to skip the imagination part is like trying to pop an empty balloon. It's lower than you think. In my comments section told me that if I ever have to erase pencil but don't have an eraser, that I could use bread as a substitute. And already the scenario seems fucking stupid. Like if I'm in a situation where I'm writing something and don't have access to an eraser, why on earth would I have bread? And I also kind of think they're fucking with me, but I want to try it anyway. So I got paper, I got a pencil, and I got bread. Okay, so I'm just gonna write my name really quick. And then I'm gonna take the bread and crush it into a ball. Let's see if this works. I'm kidding me. It's not practical, but it works if you need it to. Hey! Hello? How's 2022 going? January's about to end, so I just wanted to check in on ya. You actually want to know? Yeah. There's an out-of-control SpaceX rocket on a collision course with the moon. What? Betty White and Bob Saget died. Not Betty White and the borderline pedophile from Full House. Some people still deny COVID-19's existence and refuse to get vaccinated even though over 1,000 people die from it every day. Healthcare workers have to leave their jobs because hospitals can't afford to pay them more than Walmart will. And some mom just threatened to shoot up a school if the school forced her kid to wear a mask. Why? But those same people are trying to ban books from school libraries. I didn't realize that mass school readings were such an issue for our youth. And in spite of the fact that inflation went up by 7%, over 4 million people quit their jobs this month, adding to the 38 million people that quit their jobs last year in what experts are calling the Great Resignation. Are you saying that nobody wants to work anymore? And instead of doing something to help the American people, the government issued a memo assuring all of us that birds are real. So the birds aren't real. Birds aren't real. It is Astro's first birthday today, and I'm gonna make him a cake! I took this treat for him so you look at the camera. 1 cup flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then another bowl, an 1/8 cup of vegetable oil, 1/4 cup of natural peanut butter, and then a 1/2 cup of pumpkin, like puree, and then 1/2 cup of applesauce. And once you mix all that together, you're just gonna add an egg to it. And then we mix the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. I put that whole thing in a cake pan, gonna bake this at 350 for 25 minutes. You can lick the spoon. And then as like a frosting, we're gonna do 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt and a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. Happy birthday, Baba! Aw, he's devouring the cake. Oh my God. You should know that 1 large 18-inch pizza is always gonna be better than 2 medium 12-inch pizzas. Here is the math. You're welcome. If you have a bunch of extra change lying around, don't go to a Coinstar to cash it in. They're gonna charge you outrageous fees and force you to get a gift card. If you just take that change and give it to your bank, they're gonna give you that exact amount in cash. no fees. Being dehydrated can drop your blood pressure, which makes you feel depressed, and in turn can make your heart beat harder, which can cause anxiety. So just drink more water. How to take the best shit of your goddamn life. First and foremost, make sure you get at least 30 grams of fiber every single day. And you don't have to drink like prune juice or anything like that. You can do beans, avocado, or popcorn. Doing this will take you from a 3 to a 4. 4 is good. First thing in the morning, drink a hot liquid. Coffee, tea, or even just water. It's going to trigger your gastrocolic reflex, contracting your colon, and just gets everything started. And finally, don't sit to shit. Squat instead. Sitting bends your colon in a weird way, making you work harder, while squatting opens all that up. And by far the easiest way to do this is by getting a squatty potty. Not sponsored, just a big fan. In the new Disney movie Encanto, in the background of Bruno's place, you can very clearly see a boot with a plant in it. Right there. Which is a nice little callback to the plant in WALL-E. And in the movie Moana, one of the first monsters they show looks exactly like Marshmallow from Frozen. And in The Incredibles 2, which came out in 2018, we get to see a lot of Jack Jack's powers. Some of which include telekinesis, laser vision, and being able to just pop in and out of different dimensions. Which makes this scene from Monsters, Inc., which was made in 2001, just a little bit more interesting.
I tried to run from it, but it picked me up with its mind powers and shook me like a dog.
Here are 3 dream signs that you should never ignore, because dreams are literally your subconscious mind just doing a vibe check. Being stuck and not being able to move. Paralysis in a dream is a sign that you are taking on way too much responsibility. You're unable to figure out the best course of action to handle everything you put on your plate, and your brain is just saying, hey, it's time to make a decision. Stop thinking about it. Just do it, even if it's hard or if you make the wrong one. Being naked in public highlights the universal fear we all have of being judged. Having this dream, even just once, is a wake-up call from your brain telling you it's time to start loving the person you see in the mirror. Falling is your brain's way of telling you that you feel out of control in your life. So if this is a reoccurring theme in your dreams, that's probably a good indicator that it's time to try some anxiety-fighting activities, like yoga, meditation, or my personal favorite, smoking weed. Some people masturbate more than they brush their teeth. Kids who are growing up today with iPads and tablets are gonna have all the internet addiction without any of the computer skills. Most people living today know so little about the world around them that if we just took like a random person and sent them back in the past 200 years, they wouldn't be able to invent anything any quicker. Like, how does a cell phone work? How does a toilet work? How does anything work? I don't know. As a lesbian with a lot of guy friends, I feel like they tell me things or I notice things that other girls might not, so here are some things that girls should know about guys. Guys will straight up show you that they like you, okay? They'll text you all the time, they'll want to hang out all the time, they'll check in on you. It's like a big ass sign that they're into you. But if you're confused and you're not sure if they're like interested, no. Boys are the absolute worst at picking up hints. To be fair, girls aren't very good at giving them, but like, still, if you like him or you want something from him, you have to be direct. They can't read your mind and everybody's just gonna be so much happier with some good communication. Men are so compliment deprived, it's honestly really depressing. So if you like a guy, give him a real, genuine compliment. I promise you he's going to think about it for the rest of his life, and it might even be enough to get him to like you back. We're about to test and see how healthy and strong your lungs actually are. Okay, so on the count of 3, you're gonna take a big deep breath. 1, 2.
Hold and count the rotations. Congratulations! Your lungs are normal. Ooh, they're so strong. Almost there. Super lungs. That's cool.
It's Stephen Hawking wanted to test if traveling back in time was possible, so he threw a time traveler's party, but didn't invite anybody until after the party was over. And the idea was that if time travel existed, a traveler would see the invitation and show up. But nobody did, and he won an award for it. There was a 1 in a 5.2 to the 62nd power chance that if you were to slap a table, all of the molecules in your hand would miss all of the molecules on the table, allowing it to pass straight through. Granted, you would probably have to slap this table for a very, very long time, so the chances are low, but never zero. Oh! As you get closer to a black hole, time moves slower. So everything farther away would experience time faster and faster as you got closer and closer. 1 second for you could mean billions of years for everything else on the outside. And so if you were to fall into a black hole and look out of it, you would actually see the universe die with you. I was thinking that my dog Astro needed a friend besides me. And really the only reason I'm able to do this for him is because of you guys. So it is an honor to announce that I'm getting this little girl. I'm thinking about naming her Nova, but I don't know. What do you think? I'm not trying to kink shame anybody, but sloths are literally too lazy to go out and find themselves a mate. So a lot of the times the female will sit up in her tree and scream until a male hears her and decides to go mate with her. And honestly, I feel this. Bats have started practicing oral sex because apparently the males of the species have figured out that if they please the female enough that she won't go out and try to find another mate, securing his spot as the father of the offspring. This is also why Batman's mask doesn't cover his whole face. So you guys know about the deep sea anglerfish, right? They're the ones with the little light that dangles over their head. Well, every single one of these that you see is a lady. The males of the species are really tiny in comparison, and when they see a female, they're kind of torn between hunger and horny, so they just end up biting her. So she releases this enzyme that literally fuses their bodies together, and she usually only keeps the testicles to fertilize her eggs. You thought your sex life was weird. Flamingos can drink boiling water. I mean, okay, technically everybody can drink boiling water at least once, but flamingos can do it consistently. Sometimes in hot weather, nectar can ferment, and when bees consume that, they effectively get drunk, and drunk bees are not allowed back in the hive. Female dolphins produce this special secretion that causes intense orgasms that works on humans, except for the fact that it also stops our heart and kills us. I wonder who figured that out. Okay, I understand that it's a kid's movie and I'm probably overanalyzing it, but if it's not supposed to have that many details, why does it have that many details? Why do the cars have doors and door handles? Who is getting in and out of them? Are they just pockets? Why does the Cars universe need a school bus? Is there school? Do kids get inside of her? And like, where do baby cars come from? And do they grow up or stay the same? Because there's definitely older cars, but not all new cars are kids. And they're implying that this is mom and this is dad, but like, how? And what's the difference between a boy car and a girl car? And don't you dare say nothing, because there are very blatant gender differences. This car has a mustache and this one has a tramp stamp. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. Like at first I thought it was the headlights. I was like, okay, maybe girls can flash theirs and boys have stickers, but that's just the race cars, so it doesn't make sense. But I need it to make sense. And I swear to God, this isn't even all my questions, so like for a part 3. For those of you out there struggling, here are some ways to get a girl to actually like you back. Be friendly! Duh! Right? But most people, especially guys, feel like they have to play it cool to get a girl's attention, but if you just went up to her with a warm, friendly energy, it's gonna work out a lot better than trying to play some badass. Slide into those DMs. Having this fun little private conversation between the two of you is going to be huge, because if she already kind of likes you, she's going to love this, and you'll notice that she'll start initiating the conversation. Ask deep, meaningful, and personal questions. And make sure you actually listen to what her answer is instead of just trying to think about what you're gonna say, because the conversation's gonna feel more natural, and then these bonding chemicals are gonna release in her brain, making her feel more attached to you. Remember to be cool with her friends. A lot of people get tunnel vision when they're around the girl they like and completely ignore their friends without realizing that that is one of the biggest factors in whether she likes you or not. Let her know that you think of her as more than a friend. If you did everything else I said, I can almost guarantee that this is going to change your life. I have a question. So when I meet somebody new, I usually go in for a handshake, or since COVID, like a fist bump, okay? But everybody in LA goes in for hugs. You don't even know this person's name yet, and they're like, let's embrace each other. But being the 6'2" bitch that I am, it's always an awkward experience because most people are smaller than me. So when I go for like an overhug, I'm literally just squeezing this person's head and their face is in my titty tats. But if I go in for an underhug, I'm essentially just picking this bitch up. Like, you're gonna go wherever I go now. Like, let me show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. I just want to know what I'm supposed to do. Like, what is the preferred scenario here? So anxiety is kind of like when you hear video game combat music, but you can't find any enemies. The phrase, don't objectify women, has women as the object of the sentence. So the asteroid that killed all the dinosaurs was technically the highest ratio of killing birds with one stone in all of Earth's history. So somebody at Google was like, let's have somebody drive down every road on the fucking planet. But you wanna know the crazy part? They actually did it. You can have a fully gay threesome, but you can't have a fully straight one. The next time you're feeling bad about yourself, I want you to come back and watch this video because nothing is gonna make you feel better like the x-rays of people who made some really embarrassing decisions. Like this guy who survived a 5-inch knife to the skull after breaking into somebody else's house. Or the boyfriend that put the ring he was gonna use to propose in his girlfriend's milkshake. Can you tell what this person swallowed? A toothbrush. On a dare. And now for the stuff up the butt lightning round, you can guess whether the object got stuck coming down or going up. Starting off with an easy one, live ammunition. I want to ask why a cell phone, but I think I already know. I may never eat a candy cane again. I'd put money down and say that they're locked out of their house right now. This is not what Pixar meant by to infinity and beyond. Take your finger and press right here. This spot on your forehead is known as your third eye, and really spiritual people believe that it's the representation for our mystical insight and intuition, but scientifically, just pressing here for like 60 seconds can have some crazy benefits for your body. I press on it to help get rid of a headache or even relieve sinuses. And it stimulates your pituitary gland, which is like the master of all your hormones, which can help your skin, complexion, and just your general well-being. Third eye meditation has also been known to ease anxiety, clear your thoughts, and help with insomnia. And as if this chakra pressure point couldn't do enough already, it also helps with eye strain, which I know you have because you're on TikTok all day. So, oh my god, yeah, the peacock mantis shrimp, which isn't peacock, mantis, or shrimp, is really pretty. Because of their beautiful colors, a lot of people want to buy them as pets, but pet stores strongly advise you not to. These things are fast. They can run 30 times their body length in just a second. That's like a bullet. They've been known to break through aquarium glass. And also it has these 3 really powerful claws that are strong enough to break a human hand. They will also violently attack and kill any other fish that you have in your tank. I mean, it's the laws of nature, right? The most brightly colored animals are the most homicidal. The mountain goat isn't actually a goat. It shares more DNA with antelopes, gazelles, and cows than it does any other goat that exists. The eastern kingbird is really only found in the West, and other birds don't seem to recognize its authority. The electric eel isn't an eel. It's a knife fish, and yes, it does emit a deadly electric shock if you touch it. The king cobra isn't genetically related to a cobra. They just call it that because it kinda looks like one, and it eats other snakes. The peacock mantis shrimp isn't a peacock, isn't a mantis, and it's not a shrimp. I don't know what the fuck that thing is. The horny toad isn't a toad. It's a lizard, and it really only thinks of you as a friend. If you ever want to go to a concert or a sporting event, make sure that you buy the cheapest ticket possible, and then go. Once you're inside, go on Ticketmaster or StubHub and see what better seats haven't sold yet, and just go sit there. If you have an annoying relative that's asking you or you and your partner when you're gonna have kids, just tell them you're pregnant. And then a few months later, tell them you had a miscarriage. They're gonna be so uncomfortable ever bringing it up again that you'll have your peace. Next time you try to buy something on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or Craigslist, message the seller with like 7 different accounts just completely lowballing their offer. And be a dick about it. And then message them with your actual account giving a low but reasonable offer. They're gonna be so relieved that they're finally talking to a decent person that you'll get that good deal. Are you guys hungry right now? Because I'm about to ruin that for you. Ah, bananas! There's a spider in it. Oh, grapes! There's a spider in it. Oreos, processed food, that's gonna be fine, right? There's a spider in it. How about fast food? Like somebody making it for us. Like, that's gotta be better. There's a condom in it. Like, this has happened multiple times. Ah, that's just McDonald's though. What about KFC? Let's go get like a chicken wing or something. Oh, shit, wait. That's a lung. Better than a deep fried rat, I guess. Okay, I'm not that hungry anymore. Kind of thirsty though. What if we just get like a canned soda? That'd be okay. What the fuck is that? That is a dead frog. Ah, there's a mouse in that too. Nothing is safe! Here's how to tell if you're falling in love with somebody or if you just have a crush on them. A crush will feel insecure, but love literally stems from feelings of trust. A crush will feel new and might even be a little reckless, but love will feel familiar and more mature because love thrives off of deep connections while a crush is just kind of formed from the basics. A crush usually fades the more you get to know somebody, but love will grow every single day you get to spend with this person. I'm getting ready to go to my boyfriend's house and I wanted to wear like a comfy fit, so I'm wearing this like really baggy purple shirt that, wait for it, okay, has a dragon on the back. Crazy, right? And I have these like really loud shorts in a language that I can't read. Bought these shoes online. They said they were a 10. They're not a 10. They are way too small. TikTok doesn't like knives, but for educational purposes, I will be using a bread knife to cut my shoes into slides. I was able to cut straight down, but they still had this lip on it, and when I cut that off, they were still kind of uneven, so I kept hacking away at it until it was comfortable. I don't know, guys. Is this genius? Or am I just stoned? I also got us like these matching bunny chains. So cute. See, look, I got them one. Hola. That's chocolate. In the past 2,000 years, a lot of men have claimed that they were Jesus Christ. Like, there's a whole giant list of names on Wikipedia of these men. And even though most of them were diagnosed paranoid schizophrenics, a lot of them were able to find people that believed them and they gained this cult following. Super weird, but kind of interesting how far people were willing to take their faith. And in the 1950s, a psychiatrist took 3 of these men who all believed that they were the Son of God, and he put them in a room together to try and see if their beliefs would change when confronted with a person who was just as dead set on being the second coming as they were. You want to try and guess what happened? Their beliefs didn't change at all. Instead, each of them came to the conclusion that the other 2 men were insane. Try to remember this story next time you think you're right about something. If someone ever starts a stupid argument with you or is insulting you, try complimenting them. It's much harder than it sounds, but it works because it's gonna throw them off enough to either start being civil or stop. And if that doesn't work, try just staring at their forehead instead of making eye contact. It's gonna frustrate them and make them uncomfortable without even realizing why. And if all else fails, wake up. Or just tell them that they have something stuck in their teeth because that usually knocks them down a peg. I think I just realized that mirrors don't reverse their reflection. They send back exactly what lands on their surface. Like, yeah, sure, okay, I can write out a word, put it in a mirror, and it's gonna be backwards, but that's not because the mirror is reversing anything. I did. With my hand, the mirror's not playing any tricks. What you see is exactly what you get. Is this common sense? Am I being stupid? Or did schools teach us about this wrong? I have a cyst in my eye. Really fucking gross, but I'm on my way to the eye doctor right now again, and they told me they're gonna have to dilate my eyes. I'm scared. But I got 2 pairs of sunglasses and this really deep innate urge to not have a cyst in my eye, so here we go.
Ball.
What the F? They numbed my eyes. I feel like something is wrong. Can you guys see this?
Everything is insanely bright and blurry. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to drive. Whales are mammals, which means that they produce milk. Which means if we collected enough of this stuff, we could technically make whale cheese. I can already hear you guys being like, oh my god, no, that's so gross. But you don't know. You haven't tried it. Okay, so I just read a little bit more about it, and I learned that whales have inverted nipples. Kind of cool, twins. Okay, but also I learned that their milk is already the consistency of toothpaste, which means that their milk is already kind of cheese-like. What do you think, guys? Would you try the cow of the seas cheese? There goes Jayus, always there to ruin your day. It's been over 50 years since the war on drugs started, and I think it's safe to say that it has failed in more ways than anybody could have imagined. And it's crazy that in some states we have people in prison still to this day having their lives ruined because marijuana is illegal. But at the same time, we have companies making billions of dollars selling at dispensaries in legal states. Why is it a $4 billion industry for some, but criminalized for others? It's time for marijuana to be federally legalized, or at the very least decriminalized. Democrats have both the House and the Senate. Joe Biden could very easily take weed out of the Schedule I drug class, because there is no reason for cocaine, meth, oxy, ketamine, or Xanax to be considered less of a dangerous drug than pot. Just some food for thought. Enjoy your 420. Here's some groundbreaking science things that happened that you probably didn't hear about because the media's been focused on, other things. Okay, so I think we all know what ALS is. It's the disease that Stephen Hawking had, and the whole reason for the ice bucket challenge. Well, there's a 34-year-old paralyzed man with ALS. He can't speak or even move his eyes. Scientists gave him a brain implant that allowed him to answer yes or no questions, but they quickly moved on from that, and now he's able to spell out words. His first words were, "I want a beer." And then he asked for them to play his favorite band, he asked for some curry, and then he said he loved his son. This is huge, not just for ALS patients, but any patients that have trouble communicating traditionally. And I feel like this is just inching us closer to being able to upload our consciousness to the internet. Advice that could save your life one day, except the scenarios become increasingly more likely to actually happen. You might have heard that if you ever encounter a shark in the ocean, that you should punch it in the nose to make it go away and stop it from attacking you. But how hard can you realistically punch something underwater? It is way more effective to pull at the shark's gills and poke it in the eyes to let it know, like, hey, I'm not prey and I'm gonna fight you back. If you ever see a tornado and it looks like it's not moving, that means that it's coming towards you, or going away from you. But either way, you should go and find shelter instead of standing outside trying to predict the direction of the windy death spiral. If you're ever in a situation where you have to brace for impact, going completely limp will increase your chances of survival. This is because your body's able to more easily contort without breaking bones. This is also why drunk drivers are more likely to survive the accidents they cause, because the alcohol relaxes the muscles in their body versus somebody that tenses up. Here are some of the most banned dog breeds in the whole world. I don't personally agree with this list because I think it's all about how you raise and train a dog, but facts are facts. Coming in at number 3, we have the Doggo Argentino, a very large, very intelligent, all-white muscular breed that was developed for big game hunting in Argentina. They're banned in all of these places, and it makes me so sad because just look at their little face. Number 2, we have the Japanese Tosa. They were developed by mixing a bunch of very large breeds together about 150 years ago, and people were like, we want the sumo wrestler of dogs. They're also known to make zero noise when attacking in dog fights. And they're banned in all of these places too. And unfortunately, the number 1 spot isn't all that shocking. It goes to the American Pit Bull Terrier. In the right home, these can be very loving dogs, but in the wrong home without proper socialization, they can become very dangerous and fearful. Like, I personally would love to own a pit bull myself if it wasn't so hard to find a place to rent that allows them. The batteries in your remote just died and you don't have any more to replace them. One way to give these things just a little bit more juice is to take them out and then rub them together. This is going to clean off the connectivity points and give the chemicals inside a little bit more time to redistribute, and you more time to procrastinate buying new batteries. If you just did a load of laundry and you have clothes that are still really staticky but you're all out of dryer sheets, what you can do is take 2 pieces of tinfoil, make them into balls, throw them in there. They're gonna be static free every single time. You guys know that your ceiling fan spins in 2 different directions. In the winter, you want it to spin clockwise because that's gonna pull all the hot air from the ceiling down. And then in the summer, you want to change it to where it's spinning counterclockwise. That way, all the cold air that's settled on the floor gets mixed around the room. Here are some really cool websites that you're gonna want to know about. If you go to litsolutions.org, you'll be able to search up one of the textbooks that you're using in class, find a problem in any chapter that you're working on, and it'll pull up a step-by-step guide on how to find the solution. If you go to datenightmovies.com, you and your hypothetical date will better be able to compromise on movie choices. So let's say I really want to watch Harry Potter, but they want to watch Godzilla. This website will show you movies kind of in between the two that they think we'll both like. And you really don't even need a date to use this website, just, you know, passion for movies. If you go to capitaltrades.com, you will be able to see which stocks United States politicians are buying and selling, which is some pretty nice information to have considering these are the people that can directly affect the prices of those stocks. Holy shit, woman, what are you buying? We are about to see how good your eyes actually are, okay? All you have to do in this test is pick out the color that's different from the rest, and let me know how you do. Hi, I was hoping to apply for a job. Okay, here's my resume. It's on paper. I think it's pretty standard practice. I didn't even know people still owned printers. Don't you guys sell those here? Look, man, I'd love to give you a job, but like, they don't even let me use the break room here yet, you know? Can I talk to the manager then? You don't want to talk to her. You should check out Hirect instead. What do you mean? It's this app where you can get a job really fast. That sounds a lot more simple than continuing this conversation, so I will download it. Yeah, it matches you with the CEOs of companies you're interested in working with, so you can talk to them directly, you can set up your interviews, you can get instant feedback, and you can get hired on the spot. I got the job! What? I'm your new boss. You know, instead of running 1 mile, you can actually burn a lot more calories by walking 3. A lot easier on the knees too. According to NASA, the best plants to have in your house are peace lilies and chrysanthemums because they have insane air filtering capabilities. If you're ever having trouble falling asleep, studies have shown that just looking at pictures of people who are asleep can trigger something in our brain that makes us feel more tired. It can help with your insomnia. I just made an appointment with my tattoo artist to get my elbows done. Do I get them tattooed like this or like this? Because this seems more painful. Like this is gonna hit my funny bone. I'm really scared. I'm gonna be completely honest in saying that that was so much worse than I thought it was gonna be, but it's done. Better pictures are gonna be on my Instagram, but I never have to tattoo my elbows again. I did it.
Oh my god, I just dropped my fucking keys down the trash chute. What the fuck? I actually hate myself. How am I supposed to get them back? Fuck.
Hey man, can you put down your iPad and help me with this? This isn't an iPad. Whatever man, put down your little Android tablet and help me get— This is the ROG Z13. The world's most powerful gaming tablet. Most tablets let you play games. No, not mobile games, okay? Real games. This is a better processor than your laptop and a better graphics card than your console. Yeah, man, that's really cool. It's just, yeah, it is really cool. I can connect my Xbox controller to this and play any game that I want. You know what I want? There is so much power in such a portable device, okay? You are going to give it the respect it deserves. Dude. Say its name. I'm not gonna— Say its name. ROG Flow Z13. That's more like it. iPad. Are you gonna help me? No, I'm in a multiplayer game and I can't pause it.